1970 for Lincoln penny 1-cent coin with mint mark D and fine condition. The 197 for D Lincoln penny is one of those coins that look simple, but it has layers of history, intrigue, and collector potential hiding behind its coppery face. This penny, minted at the Denver Mint, is one of the most common coins of its time, with over 4.2 billion examples produced. Yet, even in this sea of mintage, certain examples stand out, and that's what makes this coin a must-discuss for collectors. To truly appreciate the 197 for D Lincoln penny, we need to first look at the broader historical context of U.S. coinage during the 1970s. The early part of the decade was marked by economic uncertainty, inflation, and rising metal costs. The cost of producing coins was closely scrutinized, especially the Lincoln cent, which had been made of 95% copper and 5% zinc since 1962. By the early 70s, the value of the copper in each cent was inching closer to its face value. In 1973 and 1974, the U.S. Mint experimented with producing cents in aluminum and other materials to reduce costs. This led to the infamous 1970 for aluminum cent, which was never officially released into circulation, making it one of the most mysterious and coveted experimental coins in U.S. history. While the 197 for D penny was struck using the traditional bronze alloy, its connection to this experimental era has given it a certain mystique among collectors. The design of the 1970 40 penny features Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, introduced in 1909 to mark the centennial of Lincoln's birth. On the reverse is the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo and first introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely at the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, you'll see a tiny depiction of the Lincoln statue inside a small detail that often surprises new collectors. The mint mark D appears just below the date on the obverse side, indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint, which was known for producing large quantities of circulating coinage efficiently. While over 4 billion 197 for D pennies were struck, the condition of the coin significantly affects its value. In fine condition, which means a coin that has seen some circulation but still retains all major design elements, the 197 for D typically holds a nominal value above face-off in around 5 to 15 cents depending on demand. But there are specific variations and errors that can catapult the value significantly higher. For instance, collectors search for 197 for D pennies with doubling on the date or lettering, known as double dies. These errors occur when the die used to strike the coin has a slight shift during the manufacturing process, causing certain features to appear duplicated. A clear, dramatic double die can fetch values from $50 up to several $100s, depending on condition and visibility. Another highly sought-after error is the off-center strike, where the coin is not properly aligned when struck. If a 197 for D penny has a significant portion of its design missing due to being off-center, and especially if the date and mint mark remain visible, the value could range from $25 to $100 or more. Cut errors, die cracks, and clipped plankets also generate strong interest and can bring in notable premiums. Beyond errors, collectors are increasingly interested in coins with rich, original red color and minimal wear. Uncirculated examples graded MS65 red by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can sell for $10 to $25, while MS67 examples may push to $100 or more. Although the 197 for D is not rare in total mintage, high-grade examples with eye appeal or unique toning are always in demand. In addition to condition and errors, provenance and historical context play a role in this coin's desirability. The 197 for D Lincoln cent is a reminder of a pivotal moment in numismatic history when the future of coin composition was uncertain and experimental coinage was being quietly tested behind the scenes. That story adds depth to even a circulated example. As collectors continue to grow in number and knowledge, the spotlight is returning to these transitional era coins. Every coin from this time tells a story not just of minting and money, but of an era of innovation, debate, and change. So next time you're digging through a roll of pennies or examining your pocket change, pay close attention to that 197 for D. Look for sharp details, strong strikes, and the ever-elusive errors that might elevate it from common to collectible. Whether you're searching for historical significance, striking beauty, or hidden market value, the 197 for D Lincoln penny in fine condition holds more than meets the eye. 1981 Lincoln penny 1-cent coin without mint mark and fine condition. Now let's move to another intriguing entry in our countdown of top Lincoln pennies, the 1981 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint. At first glance, this copper coin may seem like an everyday cent, just another example of the Lincoln Memorial reverse design used from 1959 to 2008. But as with so many coins in numismatics, the value lies in the details, and the 1981 no mint mark penny is no exception. In 1981, the Lincoln cent was still being struck in a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, the same bronze alloy that had been used since the early 1960s. That would change dramatically the following year, in 1982, when the mint transitioned to a copper-plated zinc composition to reduce costs. That makes 1981 the last full year of the traditional copper penny, giving it extra historical importance in the eyes of collectors who prize the original alloy. The obverse of the coin still features Victor David Brenner's elegant profile of Abraham Lincoln, with the familiar inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 1981. What makes this version unique is its lack of a mint mark. Coins minted in Philadelphia traditionally had no mint mark, while those from Denver and San Francisco were marked with a D or S, respectively. So, the absence of a mint mark is not an error, but rather a standard trait of Philadelphia coins during this period. However, despite its common status, the 1981 penny without a mint mark is significant for a few reasons. First, its sheer age and composition, being the last copper-only cent of its kind, make it a must-have for collectors assembling full Lincoln cent sets by year and mint. Second, this coin is known to exhibit a number of die varieties and minor errors that can elevate its value substantially. One of the most discussed issues among collectors is the presence of strong and weak strike variations in 1981 Philadelphia pennies. Philadelphia dies were often overused, leading to weak details and mushy design features. But this is where errors and condition elevate value dramatically. Double die varieties are among the most collectible errors, and while the 1981 penny doesn't have a famous double die like the 1955 or 1969s, minor doubling has been reported, especially on the word Liberty and the date. These require a loupe or microscope to identify, but can increase the value of the coin into the $20–50 range for noticeable examples. Off-center strikes, die cracks, and even die caps have been seen on this issue, with values ranging from $10 to several $100s, depending on the severity and completeness of the error. An especially valuable variant is the transitional error. Although rare, a 1981 penny struck on a 1980 to zinc planchette or other foreign planchette could be a major numismatic find. Most collectors use a simple drop test or scale to distinguish between copper and zinc pennies. Copper pennies weigh about 3.11 grams, while zinc pennies weigh about 2.5 grams. Finding an off-metal strike can lead to values exceeding $100 or more depending on the coin's uniqueness and condition. Mint state examples graded MS65 or higher can sell for $15 to $30 in the open market. Red examples with flawless surfaces and minimal marks are always desirable. MS67 coins, while rare, have fetched well over $150 at auctions.